In a remote corner of Central Asia, far from the rest of the world among the vast steppes and the most enormous mountains, lies Mongolia, the most nomadic and one of the strangest countries on the planet. This fascinating place is full of mysteries and curiosities that have captured the imagination of adventurers and travelers from all over the world. And now you are going to know. So get ready to discover the mysterious and fascinating culture of Mongolia in this new video from Uncensored World. From having been the largest and most powerful empire of all time, with the great Genghis Khan, to the deep-rooted tradition of living in constant movement following the migration of their herds, Mongolia is a country with a nomadic culture unique in the world. In addition, the diversity of practices and beliefs in Mongolia adds an intriguing element to its cultural identity. For example, there is a tribe where women have the freedom to choose multiple lovers, following a tradition known as traveling marriages, something that illustrates the Mongolian ability to preserve their culture in an ever-changing world. And the surprises don't end here. As also in Mongolia, it is said that even today the wedding by abduction or nuptial abduction still occurs, an ancient tradition that you will learn more about later. And beyond its fascinating history, Mongolia hides incredible wonders, such as the famous Gobi Desert and its breathtaking landscapes, or Lake Hobol, known as the Blue Pearl of Mongolia, of a beauty that will leave you speechless. Mongolia, a huge country located in Central Asia, a place with a rich history dating back millennia. In its early days, nomadic Mongolian tribes inhabited the vast steppes and grasslands of the region, living by hunting, fishing, and animal husbandry. As the tribes united under a common leadership, prominent figures emerged such as Genghis Khan, who succeeded in unifying the Mongol tribes and founded the Mongol Empire in the 13th century. This empire expanded rapidly under the military and strategic leadership of Genghis Khan, for many the greatest of warriors, conquering a vast territory that stretched from Eastern Europe to East Asia. To give you an idea of the territory encompassed by the Mongol Empire in the past, we could say that it was larger in terms of area than the combined territories of Russia, China, and India. In other words, the Mongol Empire came to encompass an area of land that exceeded the sum of the square kilometers of these three huge countries. Its empire was characterized by its military power, its communications and trade network, and its religious tolerance, making it one of the most influential empires in history. Genghis Khan was its leader, still revered today by the Mongols. His real name was Temujin. He was born in the 12th century and rose to power as supreme leader of the Mongol tribes after decades of internal conflict. His military genius and his ability to unite the scattered tribes under a single banner led him to found the Mongol Empire in 1206, conquering vast territories and establishing the most powerful empire of all times. Leaving aside Mongolia's powerful past, let's get to know its best corners, starting with the capital, Ulaanbaatar. Ulaanbaatar is not only the largest city in Mongolia, but also holds the title of being the largest capital in the world in terms of area. To give an example, the whole country of Luxembourg would fit within the area of the Mongolian capital. This is one of the facts that make this country unique. Its extension is enormous, and the population density is one of the lowest in the world, with about 2 people per square kilometer. This means that with an area larger than that of Peru, Mongolia has only 3.3 million inhabitants, while Peru has more than 33 million. A lot has to do with the nomadic lifestyle that Mongolians have maintained for hundreds of years. This way of life makes that, for example, in winter, Ulaanbaatar becomes a magical and unique place in the world. With a huge space and very little pollution, the huge Mongolian capital is filled with snow and its clear sky with bright stars. The streets are illuminated with festive lights, and the cold air invites you to bundle up with scarves and gloves. During the winter, Ulaanbaatar becomes a paradise for winter sports enthusiasts. You can enjoy skiing, snowboarding, and sledding in the nearby mountains. The city also has outdoor ice skating rinks, where you can slide and have fun with your friends. But the fun and magic is not limited to winter sports. In Ulaanbaatar, you can also enjoy the local culture by visiting the winter markets, where you will find traditional handicrafts, yak wool clothing, and delicious local dishes to enjoy and warm you up. The diet of those who practice this lifestyle is simple but nutritious, based on dairy products, meat from farm animals, and garden produce. Despite the harsh living conditions, Mongolian nomads enjoy their deep connection with nature and a deep respect for the environment in which they live. One of the foods that makes Mongolia unique is its delicious ice cream, which is best eaten in the summer months. Legend has it that a group of Mongolian warriors were returning from a successful battle in the desert, and in the sweltering heat, one of the warriors had the brilliant idea of mixing fresh snow with mare's milk to cool his squad. This mixture solidified into a delicious icy substance, creating Mongolian ice cream, which has become a symbol of the creativity and innovation of Mongolian culture. But surely you didn't know that Mongolia stands out for having one of the most unusual drinks in the world: sheep's eye juice. This peculiar drink, known for its hangover-fighting properties, is prepared from tomato juice, vinegar, and the star ingredient, sheep's eyes. Although it may sound surprising to some, sheep's eye juice is prized in Mongolia for its unique taste and purported health benefits. The preparation of this drink is considered an important part of Mongolian culture, especially during festivals and traditional celebrations. Sheep's eyes are added to tomato juice and vinegar to create a revitalizing and comforting drink, which is believed to help restore energy and alleviate the effects of hangovers after a lively celebration. Among Mongolian festivals, winter festivals are an important part of Mongolian life. During this time of year, the city is filled with activities such as concerts, parades, and traditional dance exhibitions. One of the most popular festivals is Sansar, the Lunar New Year festival, where families gather to celebrate with special banquets and ceremonies. Continuing our journey through Mongolia, it is time to get to know the most magical places of this great land of nomads by discovering the vast Mongolian steppes, which occupy most of its territory. These green plains are home to nomads and their herds of horses, yaks, and sheep. Here you can experience authentic Mongolian culture and enjoy the peace and tranquility of these wild landscapes. Probably the most famous territory in Mongolia is the Gobi Desert in the south of the country. This desert is one of the largest and most arid in Asia, but it also hides oases, canyons, and unique rock formations. Mongolia is known worldwide as the perfect place to find fossils. Why? Well, it turns out that millions of years ago, this land was a paradise for dinosaurs and other prehistoric creatures. Its arid climate and vast deserts have perfectly preserved the remains of these ancient inhabitants, making Mongolia a real treasure trove for paleontologists and history buffs. One of Mongolia's most famous discoveries was that of a Tyrannosaurus rex-like theropod dinosaur, which was discovered in the Gobi Desert. This dinosaur is one of the most complete and best-preserved dinosaurs ever found in the world, and has provided valuable information for the evolution of these creatures. But it is not only dinosaurs that have been found in Mongolia. Other equally impressive fossils have also been discovered. For example, in the year 2018, a skull of a primitive mammal from 75 million years ago was found here in the Gobi Desert. In addition, Mongolia is known for its famous dinosaur eggs. These fossil eggs have been found in various regions of the country and have allowed scientists to study the embryonic development of dinosaurs and their reproductive habits. In northern Mongolia, you will find Lake Lugu, one of the largest and most beautiful lakes in the country. Its crystal clear waters and green shores are the perfect place to relax and enjoy nature. In addition, this lake is an important sanctuary for migratory birds, so you will be able to observe a great variety of species. Another characteristic place in Mongolia is the Kurlan River, one of the longest in the country. This river meanders through the steppes and mountains of Mongolia, creating breathtaking scenery and providing water to local communities. A very important aspect you should be aware of is the extreme weather in Mongolia, as in cities like Ulaanbaatar. Temperatures can reach -30 degrees Celsius, so it is important to dress warmly and take precautions to avoid freezing. Cold or not, if you visit Mongolia, you cannot miss the world's largest statue of Genghis Khan on horseback. This statue is located in the Sonjin Bulldog region, near the capital Ulaanbaatar. It is known as the Statue of Genghis Khan, or the Steel Statue of Genghis Khan, and depicts the famous Mongol leader riding a horse and is one of the largest equestrian statues in the world. It has a total height of approximately 40 meters and is located in a tourist complex that includes a museum and a cultural center. This imposing statue is an architectural marvel, although tourists are discouraged from visiting during the winter season due to extreme weather conditions. Despite the extreme cold, Mongolia is known as the land of blue sky because of its 260 sunny days a year. This distinctive feature adds a special touch to the experience of exploring this unique and diverse country. The majority religion in Mongolia is Tibetan Buddhism, practiced by about 53% of the population. Although Buddhism has a strong presence in the country, other faiths, such as shamanism and Tengrism, also coexist. Although only 8% of the population practices Buddhism, its influence is significant in Mongolian culture and daily life. The first Buddhist temple in Mongolia was built in 1586, marking the beginning of a long religious tradition in the country. One of the aspects that makes Mongolia really unique is its nomadic lifestyle. And one thing everyone wonders is, what is nomadic life like in Mongolia? To understand it easily, try to imagine waking up every morning in a tent, which here are called yurts, in the shadow of a majestic mountain, surrounded by the wildest nature and the most breathtaking landscapes. This idyllic setting is the reality for many Mongolians who continue to live in the traditional way, following the migrations of their herds and adapting to seasonal changes. Waking up in the yurt, the day begins with the fresh scent of mountain air and golden sunlight filtering through the tent openings. The family usually gathers around a small wood stove to prepare breakfast. In this nomadic society, breakfast is likely to include nutritious staples such as yak milk, which provides energy for the day's activities. After breakfast, family members usually organize themselves for the day's chores. Some will go out to herd cattle on the vast plains, while others may be busy repairing the yurt or doing other household chores. Nomadic life in Mongolia is marked by mobility and connection with nature, where every day offers new adventures and challenges in this vast and beautiful landscape. This is the daily life of Mongolian nomads. The nomads of Mongolia are a unique people in the world who have been able to adapt to the harsh climatic conditions of their land and keep their ancestral traditions alive. Their way of life revolves around nomadic livestock, in which creatures such as horses, sheep, goats, yaks, and camels are their main source of sustenance. These animals provide them with food, milk, wool, and transportation, becoming indispensable companions for their survival in this inhospitable land. Mobility is one of the fundamental characteristics. Nomads constantly move in search of fresh pastures and water for their animals, following a migratory pattern that varies according to the seasons. In spring and summer, when pastures are more abundant, nomadic families camp in the highlands of the mountains. In autumn and winter, when snow covers the landscape, they move to more protected and sheltered valleys. The traditional Mongolian tent, known as a gur or yurt, is the quintessential Mongolian home. This circular portable structure is made of wool felt and is easily assembled and disassembled, allowing families to move quickly and easily. Inside, the GR is cozy and functional, with simple but practical furniture, such as beds, tables, and wood-burning stoves that provide warmth during the cold winter months. This nomadic culture has meant that Mongolia still maintains traditions that are so extraordinary and strange to much of the rest of the world, such as traveling marriages. In a population in constant movement, being the men in charge of tasks such as hunting or discovering new living spaces, it was normal for many of them to get lost along the way and perish, leaving their wives without the help and sustenance that their husbands could offer them. It is very likely that because of this, the Mosuo people, of Mongol origin, and still occupying certain regions of Mongolia today, created what is known as the Kingdom of Women. The Mosuo are a nomadic community of approximately 40,000 members who live on the borders between China and Mongolia and are grouped in picturesque villages full of wooden houses. Their remoteness from habitable areas and their nomadic character has allowed them to preserve customs that are not found anywhere else in the world, such as this one of the itinerant marriage. For after a coming-of-age ceremony, Mosuo women can choose their lovers, having as many or as few as they wish in their lifetime. Mosuo couples do not live together and babies are raised exclusively in the mother's families. It is the brothers and uncles who play the paternal role, and it is believed that it is these constant changes, dangers, and loss of male human lives, the reasons for continuing to maintain this ancient tradition. Before we continue, we would like to ask you, what surprised you the most? Would you like to visit Mongolia? Pause the video and leave us your comment. As you know, this is the best way you have to support us and help us to keep working to bring you interesting content like this. So thank you. And don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe before you continue enjoying the video. As you can see, although Mongolia does not receive many visitors and is not considered a very popular tourist destination, it is worth exploring its reality. Among the places to know better in its capital, Ulaanbaatar, you can tour the Ganden Monastery, an impressive religious complex that houses the largest Buddha statue in Mongolia. If you are a history lover, you cannot miss the National Museum of Mongolia, where you can learn about the rich history and culture of this country through fascinating exhibits and artifacts. For adventure lovers, Ulaanbaatar also offers the possibility of camel, jeep, or horseback excursions through the desert, an unforgettable experience that will allow you to explore this wild and mysterious landscape. But that's not all, as you will still have the opportunity to marvel at dinosaur fossils, a unique experience that transports visitors back to prehistoric times. One of the most curious and peculiar beliefs found in Mongolia is the superstition related to the sacred mountain Burkhan Khaldun. This mountain is believed to be the birthplace of Genghis Khan, and therefore mystical and protective powers are attributed to it. According to Mongolian tradition, touching the sacred mountain with the right hand brings good luck and protection against evil spirits. As for its recent history, in 1990, Mongolia experienced a peaceful revolution that put an end to the communist regime and opened the doors to a democratic system. This political change was fundamental to Mongolia's international recognition as an independent and sovereign country. In '92, Mongolia reapplied for UN membership, and this time was admitted as a full member by right. Another unique aspect of Mongolia is its culture with a warrior past unique in the world. This is probably why there are such unusual practices as the ancient tradition of the wedding by abduction or bridal abduction. In this ritual, a man can abduct the woman he desires as his wife and take her to his home, where a marriage ceremony is performed. Although this ritual was more common in the past and is now prohibited by law in Mongolia, vestiges of this tradition can still be found in some rural areas. Another centuries-old tradition unique to Mongolia is eagle hunting. To practice it, hunters train golden eagles to hunt wild animals, such as foxes and rabbits, for the community. This unique practice is kept alive in the Altai region and is an important part of Mongolia's cultural identity. This unique and warlike lifestyle of the Mongolians makes their largest festival held annually in July, which includes wrestling, archery, and horse racing competitions, which are the three skills of men. This festival is a colorful celebration that attracts people from all over the country and abroad, a reality that you should not miss if you plan to discover Mongolia and the many wonders it has to offer. If you have made it this far, we are very happy to know that you liked this video. If so, don't forget to comment, leave a like, and share this video with your friends and loved ones. Don't forget to subscribe to Uncensored World to discover the world with us. And don't miss the video that follows this one. We are sure you will like it.